The financially educated and the non-financially educated, right? But obviously, if you're financially educated, you tend to be wealthier. You don't tend to be poor, unless obviously it depends on your circumstances. But what the idea is, he talks about this gap, right? So there's a gap, for example, for someone who's educated. So let's say someone who's educated financially, they will have their expenses. Let's say this is their expenses, like this, right? And their income. So this is someone who's financially educated. There is the difference between their income and expenses is massive. They have more money coming in than what they're spending, right? And so this gap is a big difference, because someone who isn't that financially educated, right, their expenses will be quite high compared to their income, which will be low. And so this gap is where it keeps people living a life which is very difficult financially, right? Because they just spending too much money. It could be because they're wasting money, or they're living in a home which they shouldn't really be living in that home. Maybe it's too big, maybe it's too lavish, maybe they're taking too many holidays. Whatever the reason is, you need to think about, as a trader, and even in general, anything that you do, you need to think about that gap. And you need to think of ways to narrow that gap. So the way to do that is obviously to increase your income. And if there's no way that you can increase your income in your job that you're in, because there's some jobs where you just can't move forward, or you can't move forward fast enough because you can't get a promotion right away, or there isn't a promotion at all, or there's just a dead-end job. So you need to think about ways to increase your income. And that might be getting another job. That might be trying to set up a business. And obviously trading is one of those ways. But you can't just rely on, for example, your income and your trading if you're trying to close that gap. You need to find other ways, because what that's going to force you to do is going to try and force you to increase your income through your trading in order to lower that gap. And so what you should be doing is you need to get to the point where your income and your expenditure are around break even, but then just that little bit more where your income is just above your expenditure. That gap is going to give you a big relief. That's going to give you psychologically some space, and financially some room for you to focus on your trading with patience, right? And that's what you need to think about when it comes to closing that gap between your income and your expenditure.